All right, I'm back from my tangent. I don't know how to link it, but we'll deal with that when I post all this. But all right, so I was talking about health and welfare, like your life. You know, first of all, if your education is standard across the board, everybody knows there are some people who are going to know more. Obviously, there are people who are going to know. There are always going to be people who are going to know more and who are going to push more. Okay? But there should be a standard where everybody should at least graduate high school. Now, I already said that 2 years of junior college, an associate's degree, or a trade school, you know, free. Whatever school. Well, not whatever school, but we have to build more schools to be more inclusive. I don't have a problem with there being. I understand the rich is always going to be there. The upper crust, whatever, what have you. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be those that are going to be on top, but everybody else should be elevated to a higher standard. And what the people don't understand on the top is, or they're not willing to admit, is that the higher everybody else goes, the higher they go too. But anyway, back to the quality of life thing. All right. There's no reason why there should be any stumbling or bumbling if there is a task force, if there is a virus of this magnitude that we had of this magnitude. Okay, we're supposed to trust the CDC, but recent reporting, they're blowing. Well, I don't know how to say it, but the CDC has been very highly politicized, and the only way that I can think of for the CDC to get back in the good graces of the people is got to do some PSAs. And the only good way to do a PSA is Saturday morning cartoons. You got to recapture the minds of young people, because us old people who have been through this thing, we are very cynical at this point, and that affects our quality of life because some of us aren't as apt to accept new information as we should be. That being said, but the quality of life again starts with education and the healthcare. All right. Now I've laid out several areas where there's going to be job growth, or there's going to be a need for workers. Okay. Now the next level of that is the more skilled workers, like people in the technology field. All right. I think honestly, if I was to take a look back at my high school career, there was too much time focused on the wrong thing, or not too much time focused on the wrong thing, not enough time focused on the future. Like when I went to wanted to go get my certificates for computer repair. That program was tied to the school. So, you know, after you get your regular classes down, you know, your reading, your math, your science, your history, and your social study, you can take college courses. And I think that is a brilliant idea, because the stuff that you learn in the basic stuff, right? Oh, they didn't send the paddy wagon for you, boy. The basic stuff that you go through in college, you've already covered in high school. See what I'm saying? So if you're already 2 years into your major when you get to college, those next 2 years that you get free can be put to so much better use. You see what I'm saying? Like, the system needs to be designed to reward the academic achievement. Or no, not so much reward, but give opportunities for academic achievement. Okay? Because think about it, if a kid likes to take things apart, he should be able to go to shop class and learn how to do that. If a kid loves to draw, there should be an art class to do that. When I came up, there was art class and there was shop class. We need to bring those back. There needs to be a computer class too. Because that's the future. Art, history, manual labor, genius level intellect, new innovations, all that's developed through high school, through middle school and high school. You come with that. You may come up with the ideas of, you saw something and you're like, you know what, I want to know if I could do that one day. Okay, but that goes to quality of life. Your parents. I can't speak for every parent in America. I can't speak for everyone because I don't know what everybody's standard is. I know for myself that I copied out the dictionary 2 or 3 times. I say that all the time because I'm proud of it. Because I've got an extensive vocabulary. It trips me up sometimes, but I'm proud of it. Okay? Not everybody has an extensive vocabulary like that. I don't know how to disassemble an engine. But does that make me any less smart than somebody who does? No. Everybody's standards are different. Everybody has different abilities. Okay? But if those abilities are fostered early enough, like one of the things that I feel is a detriment to a child is if they're ambidextrous. Children are ambidextrous to start with. They pick one as the situation goes. Oh, I need this over here on my left, or I need that over there on my right. They don't think about right or left. As a matter of fact, most kids don't know their right from their left until they're at least 2 or 3. Depends on how much the parents were involved, or not how much the parents were involved. What was translated to the child. Now again, if the education, if I'm confident in the education system, right? Head Start, daycare, Head Start, all the way up to the 12th grade, all right, and beyond. If I'm confident in the healthcare system, I can drop my 1-year-old off, or 6-month-old off, 9-month-old. I would 6 to 9 months. I say 6-month-old. I'd be able to drop my 6-month-old off for a couple hours out of the day, and I would be able to take on whatever I needed to do. And see, that goes with quality of life. Parents need to be afforded the opportunity to be able to spend time nurturing the next generation. Now, I understand some parents ain't built like that. I get it. Some parents are rather gruff around the edges, you know what I'm saying? And that's not their stilo. Okay. Well, you need help to be that way. Because let me back up. If you're not going to be that way, then this is another thing about health and welfare. All right. The police are an integral part of health and welfare. Children need to see positive male role models in their environment. So I'm more of a balance the scale type of guy. I'm not for defunding so much as I'm for reallocating. Like there's money, follow the money. There's money for military grade equipment, but there's not money for school outreach programs. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is the posture of America where we're more on war, fighting, than you see what I'm saying? Like, a youth outreach program would negate a lot of the gang activities if the gangsters and the drug dealers always saw Officer Flim Flam or Officer Rodriguez from the neighborhood walk through the neighborhood. If they saw that all the time, man, listen, dude, yo, you know Officer Lansbury out there, man. I'm not coming outside. You gotta come up here saying. It'll change the whole dynamics of everything. And I'm not talking about stop and frisk or racial profiling, anything like that. I'm talking about the police officers being involved in the area that they service. Involved. And what is that? What does that entail? Yo, so you go to the schools a couple times a week. Officers at the schools just walking through, checking in on classrooms. Maybe sitting on one, answer a question or two. Let them know that we're here. You can be safe. You don't have to worry about them knuckleheads running around here with AK-47s. They gonna show themselves out eventually. We're here. As soon as they do, breaker 99, breaker 99. We have those Negroes in sight, and we ready to get them. Yeah. Y'all ready? All right, let's go. Simple. But that requires a reallocation of funds. Where's the money? So you do that. You have kids interacting with police officers interacting with kids. That's going to minimize the bullying. Well, the face-to-face bullying. Because, what cop is going to sit there and allow two 12-year-olds go at it? Come on, man. But not so harsh. But see, the other thing too is, if the police officers are always on the scene, if there's someone always on the scene watching, ain't no time for no bull job. Imagine trying to get into imagine in high school, right? It took you 5 minutes of arguing before the first punch was thrown. Imagine a teacher or a police officer around the corner in 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Everybody gonna disperse like, nah, this ain't gonna happen, dog. You see what I'm saying? More police officers in the community, and not just sitting in the cars. When they say they're on patrol, they're actually in the community doing stuff. And you will have far less young people in jail. Far less. Because you see little Jimmy running down the street, bumping the officer so-and-so. Hey, what are you doing? Now don't lie to me, boy. Oh man, yo, dude told me to take this package over here. Or however it go down where he say he give up the goods. Yo, Officer John gonna knock on that dude's door because he live here. He live in the neighborhood. Like, yo, now I gotta take you down because you're selling the kids. See what I'm saying? Drug dealers caught like that. I'm not saying I want all drug dealers to go to jail. Alright? What I am saying is, with a proper reallocation of finances and money, there will be no need for drug. There will be drug dealers. I will never say there will never be another drug dealer. Alright? But the volume and frequency of drug dealers and incarceration is unacceptable. Those are fathers who are not with their sons. Those are uncles who could be on the basketball court or the baseball field or babysitting. You know what I mean? But their education system did not afford them the opportunity. People say all the time, oh, you say it ain't afford this and ain't afford that. Listen, one of the reasons why Betsy DeVos was such a horrible education secretary was not because she came from money, but she had no idea how the financial aid system worked and how much in debt people who are seeking to better themselves become. Oh yeah, you hear people all say, oh well, you shouldn't give up on your dreams. You shouldn't give up on your dreams. I couldn't afford them. The only way I knew how to to live my dreams was to either shoot a basketball or push a rock. Click clack, or dice or something, gambling, whatever. I had to get that money because of your environment, where you lived at, the fact that you had people living on top of each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you change the quality of life and change the education, you'll uplift everybody. Because people on the street, like, let's say, for example, I'm not using myself as an example because people say I get real magnanimous when I have money. Everybody not like that. But imagine if you go to McDonald's, right? You go get two cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, and a drink. Somewhere along the line, you say, man, I'm not going to eat this. You throw it away, right? But I see you say, I see what you're going to say. You should give it to a homeless person. I'm not going to carry my car long enough to find a homeless person. Okay, well, legit. And you don't want to buy less because you never know. But think about that before you leave the house, though. What you had at the house to eat? Could you have saved a couple dollars and not ate out? I understand there's people who work and flip burgers, right? But there are ways around for you to save money. But that's a tangent issue. Alright? Well, this is we're talking about quality of life. And that brings me to, it's also a health issue, the farmers. Honestly, America does not need to import food. It does not. We have allowed people in office to put a stranglehold on America's farmers. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it quite difficult to make the claim that a hamburger, if minimum wage is $15 an hour, the price of a hamburger is going to be astronomical. That's why that issue scares people. But part of the reason why the lobbyists in Congress lobby to keep the farmlands closed up is so they can control the price of beef and corn and other valuable goods and services, so they can leverage those against the global market. And that's why I said beginning that a lot of these things that we export, we need to make sure Americans have first. You see what I'm saying? That's the basis of an American first ideal is that we feed and house Americans first, and then we do outreach. Because if one thing I've seen time and time again is that when more people have money, the economy is booming. There's more money to do things with. When fewer people have money, there's less stuff to be done with. You see what I'm saying? There's less stuff that gets done. See what I'm saying? So at some point, we have to understand we have to redress the balance. Where's the money? But with quality of life, I've already outlined previously of areas where jobs are created. When the education sector, you've got to build more schools, you've got to build more daycares, you got to build more middle schools, you got to build more colleges and junior colleges, you got to build more trade schools. Excuse me. Then with healthcare, you've got to build more hospitals, you've got to build more hospice centers, you've got to build more doctors' offices, you've got to build more pediatricians, you got to build more emergency rooms. You're going to have more ambulance drivers. You're going to have so the auto industry. You're going to have more ambulances. marijuana farms, marijuana and hemp farms, processing plants, more jobs there, more jobs turned into forestry jobs. The roads have to be redone. More buildings have to be renovated. More housing has to be made available in areas that there isn't housing currently to supply the demand for workers. So this is kind of a little bit of a wrap-up one. Just because quality of life is a wrap-up of everything. I mean, honestly, if you think about the way America is currently, those are the three areas where people are the most unstable. But in the next video, I'm going to cover the system itself a little bit, and there's going to be some tangent-y stuff to it. But thank you for listening.